ago, I kind of fell off the wagon. I was doing so well. Like, I did a book haul fairly recently where I was like, well done me, I've only bought 4 books so far this year. Admittedly, I've been sent quite a few, but I've only bought 4 books. And then the Booktuber meetup happened. I had the best time on the Booktuber meetup. It was so nice to meet new people and finally meet in person people who I've been friends with for a really long time. But god damn it, if you get a group of people together who really find a lot of joy in recommending books and are all really well read, it's a bit of a disaster if you don't want to buy books and have very little self-control like me. So these are mostly books that I bought on the Booktuber meetup and a couple more as well. But let's just get into it. So we met up at King's Cross, and already before we'd even set off to go book shopping, I had one more book than I anticipated having. This is The Woman in the Photograph by Stephanie Butland. This is a proof edition. I think the final one is out on the 11th of July, but essentially all I really know about this one is that it is about a woman and her career in photography. Our protagonist, Veronica, isn't really respected by her male colleagues at the local paper, but when she meets Leonie, her life begins to change. 50 years later, Leonie is no longer in Veronica's life, but this book is about how a photograph brings up sort of memories that she had forgotten. So a lot of feminism in here, social change, female relationships. So I'm really excited for this one. I hadn't heard of it until Katie shoved it into my hands. So I'm really excited that I've now got a proof of it. The first bookshop that we went to was Gaze the Word, which is one of my favourite bookshops in London. And what was really nice about going there was that there was really a sense that this was a bookshop that we all really wanted to support. I picked up 3 books there, although 2 of them are very small. The first of those is Kathy Acker's New York City in 1979. I didn't really know anything about this one, but I am such a big fan of these mini editions of books, and when I read the back of this, I thought it sounded really cool because it just says, "A tale of art, sex, blood, junkies and whores in New York's underground from cult literary icon Kathy Acker." And as I said, I really wanted to support Gaze the Word, so I thought I would pick this one up. I also picked up another little book, and this time a little black classic, and this is Sappho's Come Close. So this is an ancient Greek work of poetry. I've never read anything from Sappho before, and I have decided that I really want to learn more about like classical Greek mythology, and I'm gonna do a full video on that at some point later this month, I think. And kind of following in that theme, this wasn't one that I originally thought I was gonna buy, but the bookseller in Gaze the Word did a really good job, and like, I think he brought out a copy for Emma, and I was behind Emma in the queue, and it was just like perfect sales timing. But I picked up a copy of Cersei by Madeline Miller. I don't really know much about the plot of this book beyond it being a retelling of Greek mythology, of the story of Cersei. I actually don't know anything about the original myths going into this book, so it will be really intriguing to see what impact that has on my reading experience of this book. And also this has been longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, and I am going to try and give a go to most of the books on that list. So I'm really excited to give this one a go, and I would be really intrigued if you guys have any thoughts on this one. Do leave them down below in the comments. The next bookshop that we went to was the London Review Bookshop, which is another fantastic bookshop, and I had a mission in London Review Bookshop. There was one book that I was really after, that I was determined to get to. It was my one mission of the day, and I picked up Ordinary People by Diana Evans. This is another one that is on the Women's Prize long list. This book is about 2 couples and their very complex relationships that they have. I love books that are just about the intricacies of human communication and human relationships, so I thought this would be one that I would really enjoy. As far as I'm aware, it's really just an exploration of modern marriage. I have heard it is very, very sad, but I love a sad book, so. Then we went to Forbidden Planet, but I didn't get anything there. But I did pick up 3 books in Any Amount of Books. Any Amount of Books is a great spot in London if you want to get books secondhand or a bit cheaper. Unfortunately, they do sell proof copies, which is actually not legal, but there were 3 finished copies that I did pick up there. The first of those is Jellyfish by Janice Galloway. I had never heard of this book before, but when I saw it on the shelf like that, you know, this colour pink is always going to appeal to me. This is a short story collection made up of 16 stories, and it has a lot to do with exploring sex and sexuality, and on the back it says it's a little bit reminiscent of Sylvia Plath. So they are all massive boxes ticked from me, and I couldn't resist this one. These next two books I got for £1 each, so I don't feel too bad about it. The first of those is Don't You Forget About Me by Mari McFarlane. Mari McFarlane is an author who I've wanted to read for a really, really long time, and I have another one of her books on my shelves, but I have wanted to pick this one up for the longest time, but I've been resisting it because I was like, no, you need to read at least one of her books first before you can buy another one. What if you don't like her? As far as I'm aware, her books are like really funny contemporaries with a bit of romance in them, so I guess if you are a fan of like Bridget Jones' Diary, then maybe Mari McFarlane's books will appeal to you. That's definitely why I'm drawn to them. This book is about Georgina and what happens when she loses her job and also finds her terrible boyfriend in bed with someone else. When she finds a new job, she realizes that her new boss is someone that she had a very brief interaction with 12 years earlier, but he doesn't seem to remember who she is. And it's about what happens from that point on. The final book that I picked up on the Booktuber meetup was One Enchanted Evening by Anton Dubek. This is another book that's been on my radar for a really long time, and I've been so intrigued by it because I'm a massive Strictly Come Dancing fan, and if you know anything about Strictly Come Dancing, you will know Anton Dubek. Unfortunately, I've not heard that many people talking about this book. I feel like it's maybe been slightly snubbed because it's Anton. This is actually published by Zafir, which is where Katie works, and she gave this book a really glowing recommendation when I said I was interested in picking it up. It is set in London in 1936, and it is about a really talented troupe of dancers that perform in the Buckingham Hotel. So it's full of like these rich and famous people. But a new chambermaid at the hotel, Nancy, begins to realise that everyone in this hotel seems to have something to hide. Beneath the glitz and glamour of this ballroom, there are secrets and scandals, and you also have the backdrop of the war brewing. I really love Anton Dubek, so I really hope I love his book. Next to the one book that I bought not as part of the Booktuber meetup, and that is A Portable Shelter by Kirsty Logan. All I really know about this book is that it's set in Scotland and it's got some fairy tale elements. It is about two women who are expecting their first child, and they take it in turns to tell stories to this child. That is really all I know about this book, but fairy tales and Scotland and a female-female relationship is all I need to know about a book for it to be sold to me. And to finish up, I have two books that were very kindly sent to me by Pan Macmillan, so huge thank you to everyone over there. The first of these books is so beautiful, and that is Natalie Haynes' 1,000 Ships, and this kind of follows in the Greek sort of theme that I'm starting to go down. This is another book that gives voice to silenced women from Greek history and mythology, I think particularly in the Trojan War. One of the things that really appealed to me about this book is that at the start of the book it has a breakdown of who all the different characters are, and as someone who is going into these retellings pretty blind with regards to the original source texts, that's really, really helpful. And the final book I have is a proof of Sweet Home by Wendy Erskine. This is a collection of short stories that comes out on the 27th of June. These are 10 heartbreaking and quietly tragic stories that are set in Belfast, and I love writing that reflects any part of Ireland. These stories are really meant to capture the ordinary lives of Belfast people and really just show snapshots into their lives, and that's really what I love about a short story, just getting this glimpse into the everyday ordinary lives of people. I'm genuinely so excited for this one. I think I may need to do a try a short story tag to pick my next short story collection. I thought I was doing a really good job of getting my TBR down, and to be honest, I still think I'm doing a good job. I think my TBR is now back at where it was at the start of the year, which isn't great, but I have been reading like 10 books a month, so it is still possible for me to reach my like TBR goal for the end of the year. What did I set that at? Was it fewer than 100 books? I hope it was fewer than 100 books, but I feel like I might have said it would be less. It's okay, it's gonna be fine, and I do genuinely think I'm gonna really behave myself when it comes to book buying over the next few months. Anyways, if you have thoughts on any of the books that I have mentioned, do leave a comment down below. I'd be particularly intrigued to hear if you have any thoughts on, I suppose, the trend of Greek retellings that have emerged. And as ever, all of the books that I mentioned will be linked down below in the description as well. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you in my next video.